All right, it looks like most people are signed in. My name is Mandy Kenzie, and I'm a human resource generalist with the Bureau of Human Resources. Behind the scenes, I have Michelle Deo Amende. She's also with the Bureau of Human Resources. She is going to help monitor the chat and any issues that we have, kind of behind the scenes stuff. I normally have a co-pilot for this presentation, and she's out on leave. So if it feels like I'm stumbling through some of this, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. But I think we'll do just fine. We'll go ahead and get started. Our goal today is just to give you an overview of the Bureau of Human Resources and just kind of respond to any questions that you may have. And I went ahead and shut my video off just so that it doesn't interfere with any of the communication here. So let's see here. The Bureau of Human Resources, again, is located in the Capitol building. If you have any questions, feel free to use that Q&A button. Michelle will be monitoring that Q&A button. If we're not able to get through all of the questions at the end, then we will respond to you after the fact, but we'll try to monitor that and stay on top of that as we go. If you have any other questions after the presentation, feel free to contact Michelle. Her email address is listed there, or you can contact your human resource specialist or myself. I don't work with all of the agencies, but I am more than willing to help you out or guide you in the right direction if you have a question that I can't answer. With the Bureau of Human Resources, our mission is to build, develop, and support a high-performing and healthy workforce. And the most important question of the day is, when do we get paid and how does payroll work? So our pay periods end on the 8th and the 23rd of each month, and our pay days are on the 1st and the 16th of each month. If a payday falls on the weekend or a holiday, then we get paid the Friday before. There are a couple of exceptions to that. The beginning of the calendar year, so July 1st, and January 1st, and beginning of the fiscal year, which is July 1st. If those days, if the payday falls around those days, then we get paid January 2nd or July 2nd or whatever that following Monday is. So that's an exception to that rule. Along with payroll, it is really important that employees make sure that their timesheets are correct. If you're overpaid for any reason, your direct deposit has to be voided and withdrawn from your account. And it could take a few days in order to get a correction made to your account. I wouldn't rely on your supervisor to make sure that your timesheet is correct. That's the employee's responsibility. The supervisors are busy and sometimes they just go ahead and sign off on it just to get through it. But it's really is the employee's responsibility to make sure that their timesheet is entered correctly. The next slide is regarding overtime pay. This is for hourly employees only, and it's based on actual hours worked. So if we have admin days or holidays included in that work week, those don't count towards your overtime hours. It's only the actual hours worked past 40. There are some positions that require you to work 80 hours in a 2-week period in order to be eligible for overtime. But if that is your case, then your supervisor will visit with you about that. Here's a look at our TKS system. Hopefully you've all signed into TKS. TKS is short for timekeeping, the timekeeping system. And this is where you'll go to enter your time. This is just an overview of what your timesheet may look like. It may not be exact because every agency, even divisions within the agencies, are a little bit different. But at the top, you can see different options to choose from. Your time form is where you'll click in order to bring up your time form. And you'll be able to see your name, your title, your employee ID number. Some areas have time study rules and some don't, so that may not apply to you. Your position number, your leave balances will also be included here. Over on the side, you'll see banked holiday leave. One of the benefits that we get as a state employee, if you're required to work on a holiday, you can either bank that holiday to use within the next 60 days, or you can get paid that holiday time as well as your hours worked. And so if you choose to bank that holiday to use at a later time, the system will keep track of it here. Let's say if you time just flew by and you didn't have a chance to use those banked hours, the system will automatically pay you those hours at the end of the 60 days. So you can see the hours worked is across this top row. If you have time study rules, that will be down here, kind of underneath this admin daily totals section. If you need to look at a different week, a different work week, you can click on this retrieve button, and that will allow you to pick a different work week. If you need to request leave, you can click on this leave button and you can pick your day, and it will ask you if you want vacation leave or sick leave, and then the number of hours on the appropriate day. Once you save that, it will send an email notification to your supervisor. Your supervisor will then go in and approve that or unapprove or disapprove that leave request, and then that gets all recorded within TKS. Some of you are eligible for inconvenience pay. That's what this button is. If you are in that type of position, your supervisor will go through that with you. Some employees like to print their timesheets at the end of the pay period, and that option is here. You always want to save once you enter in your time. At the end of the pay period, you'll sign your timesheet. Your signature will show up at the bottom, and then your supervisor will go in and they'll also sign it. And then the third signature on your timesheet will be your human resource specialist. So at a glimpse, that is just kind of an overview of what your timesheet might look like. The probationary period is a time of evaluation to determine your compatibility with the jobs. It's 6 months for most positions. And during the 6 months, you should have an evaluation at 3 months and at 5 months. So it's real important for you to know the areas that your supervisor is going to be looking for. So if they've not visited with you about what the expectations are or what kinds of things you're going to be evaluated on, I would just ask them to share that information with you. I think we all like to know where we're going to be evaluated. So that's just important communication for you and your supervisor. The accountability and competency evaluation is, we call that an ACE. And so when you have your performance review at 3 months and 5 months, you may hear it being referred to as an ACE. And again, that measures your accountability as far as what's getting done, and then your competencies as far as how the work is getting done. The areas that we use, or the rating system that we use, are unsatisfactory, improvement, development needed, successful performance, or exceptional performance. And you know, there are times when we do see I's, or improvement needed, on a 3 month and a 5 month ACE. So if you do see that, don't be too alarmed. Just make sure there's good communication between you and your supervisor, because that might just be an area that you've not had exposure to yet. When it comes to vacation leave accrual, full-time employees with less than 15 years of service will earn vacation leave at a rate of 5 hours per pay period, or 15 days per year. There is a maximum accumulation of 240 hours. Employees with 15 or more years of service will earn vacation at a rate of 6.6667 hours per pay period, or 20 days per year. And they may accumulate leave up to 320 hours. Part-time employees, their vacation leave is prorated. One thing that we ask about vacation leave is that it is approved and requested in advance. So you, as soon as you know that you're going to need a day off, we ask that you visit with your supervisor, submit that leave request in TKS. If you're a salaried employee, you have to take that leave in 8-hour increments. Sick leave accrual, full-time employees will earn sick leave at a rate of 4.6667 hours per pay period, and there's no limit on the number of hours that you can accumulate. And again, part-time employees receive sick leave on a prorated basis. Salaried employees have to take leave in 8-hour increments. As far as sick leave usage is concerned, an employee can use sick leave for themselves, for their own illness, healthcare, or medical needs, as well as those for immediate family members. We also allow employees to use 5 days of sick leave for bereavement leave for the loss of an immediate family member. An immediate family member is defined as the employee's spouse, children, mother, father, mother-in-law, father-in-law, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, brothers, sisters, grandparents, grandchildren, stepbrothers, stepsisters, stepchildren, and stepparents. An employee may use up to 40 hours of accumulated sick leave annually for a call of state active duty to military reserve or National Guard. And again, here's that list. This list is also available in the employee handbook. Paid family leave is one of our newer benefits. It started in July of 2020, and it's really exciting that we have this option to offer to employees. It's for permanent full-time and permanent part-time employees. And the benefit is it provides eligible employees with paid leave following the birth or placement of a child for adoption. Paid family leave is intended to help provide parents with the means to spend critical bonding time with the child. A permanent employee is eligible if they've been employed for a minimum of 6 continuous months. So that's a pretty good, as long as you've been employed for 6 months, you qualify for paid family leave. Full-time employees are eligible for up to 24 hours per week, up to 8 weeks. So that totals 192 hours of paid family leave. And then part-time employees, the paid family leave is on a prorated basis. Sick leave or vacation leave can be used to supplement those remaining hours within the work week. And paid family leave must be taken within 1 year following the birth of a child or adoption. The other caveat to paid family leave is that it must be taken in full week increments. And another perk, if you and your spouse work for the state, you're both eligible to take paid family leave. The Family Medical Leave Act, you'll hear this referred to as FMLA, is a federal regulation. It's protected leave for up to 12 weeks. Any employee that's eligible, they have to have worked at least 12 months and 1,250 hours of service during that 12-month period. Some of the reasons for FMLA is that it's used for the birth of a child or the placement of a child with for adoption or foster care, to bond with a child so long as leave is taken within 1 year after the child's birth or placement, take care for an employee's spouse, son, daughter, or parent who has a qualifying serious health condition. For a serious health condition that makes the employee unable to perform the employee's job. There are also some rules for military members. And so anytime that we question, is this an FMLA event? Does this qualify for FMLA? Feel free to reach out to your HR contact. FMLA is a great thing for employees, and we always encourage supervisors to contact us, encourage employees to contact us if there's ever a question. We want to make sure that employees are covered. It is important to note that FMLA is not an extra bank of leave. It's just protected leave. And anytime that an employee is out for 3 days or longer, we'll probably contact them. We'll just be proactive and we'll contact them and just make sure that the reason that they're out does or does not qualify for FMLA, and make sure that they have the appropriate paperwork to complete. We also allow 15 calendar days per year for military training leave. So the employees that are requesting the military leave for training must obtain the written order and submit that to your supervisor or to your HR representative at least 15 calendar days prior to the departure date for training. Here's a list of our paid holidays, and these are also in the employee handbook. If a holiday falls on a Saturday, then the preceding Friday is observed as the paid holiday. If the holiday falls on a Sunday, then it's observed the following Monday. If an employee is part-time, The holiday pay is prorated based on the hours worked. If you, again, this goes back to that TKS example, if you work on a holiday, then you can get paid holiday hours plus your hours worked. Or you can choose to bank that holiday to use at a later date. Another perk that state employees have is longevity pay. Longevity pay begins at 7 years. 7 to 10 years is $100, and then there's a calculation. 11 to 14 years is $10 times the years of service, and then 15 to 19 years is $15 times the years of service. This is an automatic deposit that goes right into your bank account. If you have any question, just reach out to any of us. One thing that's important to remember as far as longevity pay is concerned is that any prior service counts towards your longevity. So if you work as a seasonal employee, as an intern, maybe you worked for a college within South Dakota, those years of service count towards your time at the state of South Dakota. So some of you may see an adjusted hire date in your employee space or your employee portal. If you don't and you think that you should have one, please reach out and we'll check into that for you. Hopefully all of you have been into the portal. The HR portal allows employees to have the ability to view their earning statements, their leave balance, their usage transactions, performance review history, and then other employee payroll information. You can also do things like update your address, your emergency contacts. You can change your W-4 withholdings, your direct deposit information. It also contains links to the retirement system, retirement calculator, benefits information, just all sorts of good information out there. To access the site, you enter in your state email address, and then your password is your computer network password. Another option is employee space. An employee space is where you'll go to view job openings, apply for jobs, update contact information, review pay stubs. So there are some things that you can do very similar to the portal and the employee space, but they are a little bit different. If there is a job opening in your area that is specifically for your division or for your town or your area, you would have to go to employee space to see that job announcement. So it's really important to make sure that you understand the difference between the two. Once you sign in, this is an example of what you'll see. There's different options that you can click on. Opportunities is where you'll see jobs that are posted. You can edit your profile, view your pay stubs. So this is just kind of a sample screen. Workers' compensation. It's really important that if you're injured on the job to fill out a first report of injury. Some people refer to this as a FROI. We ask that you do it within 3 days, at least that you report it to your supervisor within 3 days. Technically, you have 7 days to complete the first report of injury. This next screen will kind of show you a glimpse of what that screen looks like. And it's just important when you fill it out to be as detailed as possible, to make sure that you include all the details, even some that you may not think are important, just because if it turns into a workers' compensation claim and there's, just more questions, they can look at your initial claim to kind of help determine some of those questions, and it just makes the process a little bit easier. So again, if you have questions on that, please reach out to your supervisor or to BHR. We'd be happy to help you with that. A copy of this PowerPoint, along with the recording of the presentation, will be available within 48 hours on the BHR site. In addition to the presentation, we encourage you to attend other presentations offered in the new employee orientation series. There's also a benefits and well-being section, and then there's a South Dakota retirement system section. So I encourage you to look for those emails and sign up for those presentations as well. Michelle, did we have anything in the chat? Any questions that need to be addressed?
No, we don't currently have anything.
Okay.
So we can wait a few minutes here
Okay.
and see if anyone has anything they'd like to share, if they want to put that
Sounds
in the
good.
Q&A.
Perfect. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. That's the end of the presentation. Otherwise, thank you all for joining. Hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A. You can reach out to me via email, whatever's easiest for you. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you. We do have a question here. When is an employee eligible to use sick leave and vacation time? And the answer to that is as it accrues. So usually it takes about 30 days to see those accruals in there. So as they accrue, as you see those balances available, you can start using that leave. That's a great question.
And that's a nice change from about 2 years ago, when you
Yeah,
had to wait. It's nice you can use those balances immediately.
agreed. Yeah, that's a great benefit. If a sign-on incentive was offered, when is it paid to the employee? It depends on the agency, and then it also depends on the division within the agency. They're all a little bit different in how those sign-on incentives are set up. Some offer to be paid, a portion right away, a portion at 6 months, or a portion at 12 months. Some might be 12 months and 18 months. I would encourage you to reach out to your HR representative, or you can contact me if you don't know who that HR representative is. Feel free to shoot me an email and I will forward that to the right person. But they're not all the same. I guess it's the short answer to that. Great question. Any others out there? See, we have a few people hanging on. I think that's probably it, Michelle.
It looks like it.
All right.
Well,
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I'm not sure who or how is a contagious disease, dear. Oh, determined. That is spelled out in the employee handbook, and I didn't actually bring it in with me. But you should be able to find that. I'm sorry, I hate to tell people that. Go to the employee handbook and find that. You can reach out to me, and I will help you look through that, or your HR person, and we can talk through that with the handbook in front of us. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, thanks again, everybody, and we'll go ahead and sign off now.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.